of people have a tendency to sort of begin to look down on themselves when they hit a speed bump or probably fail at a project that they've been really invested in. And the issue of how to get to the point where you push forward for success, you know, it's a big debate these days. And today, Gabriel Balogun is here to help us figure that out. He's a speaker, workshop facilitator, learning and development leader, and he's known for cultivating high-performing teams using a blend of content, tech, and systems. And he speaks regularly on these subjects that empower human capital and drive personal development. Today, it's about this issue of embracing failure.
Yeah.
Is it truly a pathway to success?
It is.
Welcome back to the show.
Thank you for having me.
All right, so you've been pushing in this industry, you've been climbing the ladder, and then suddenly something happens. And you literally cannot say you succeeded in this particular project, in this particular area. How then do you start to navigate a way out of that? Talk to us about it.
I think it begins first with the mindset.
Okay.
The mindset that I can only get it right once. And once I get it right once, I can't fail it again.
Okay.
Right? So the way the human being was created is that we were created to learn by doing, especially adults. So when you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. What does that tell you? It means that as long as you don't do anything and you don't try, you can never fail.
Okay.
But if you don't fail, you also will not know that that's the wrong way to do it.
Okay.
Right? So I think that the first thing is just mindset, believing that this is just another step to getting it right. And so if it means that there are 1,000 failures I have to go through, I've just failed one and I have to do the remaining 999. But it's positivity. Just tell yourself that, okay, I can't do it this way again. Obviously, it didn't work. So let's try again and see if it works.
Okay, so, but there are some people that are sort of set in their ways.
Yes.
And they believe that if they keep going on a particular path, no matter how many times they slip up, they will eventually get there. What then is that turning point that makes you, you know, say, you know what, this thing is not working. I have to change strategies. I have to maybe redirect myself, take another path. When you have conversations like this with people, what do you ask them?
I usually try to tell them that there is a thin line between being unique and being weird.
Oh, wow, okay.
It's a very thin line. Resilience do not mean that you must do the same thing over and over again.
Okay.
Resilience means that you desire not to give up, but you want to get it right, which means that as much as you don't give up, look for another way to get it right. I think it was someone that said that a fool is somebody that does the same thing over and over, expecting a different result. Okay. So while you have the desire not to give up, which is what we claim resilience is, also ensure that I have tried A doesn't work. There are about 20-something more alphabets that you can try. Sure. So try B, try C, try D. Not giving up means that you keep trying other things. But if you're set in your ways and you are failing, you keep failing. You won't be better.
So I was watching something online, I think it was on LinkedIn recently, and it talks about employers, human resource professionals who ask questions of people, you know, prospective employees. And so the question of how many times you failed at something being a plus or a minus when you're having a conversation with a new employer. How should that conversation go?
Again, I believe that in your desire to be truthful, also be smart.
Okay.
Right? Understand that there are certain things you say in certain places and certain things you shouldn't say in certain places, even if it's true. Now, I think the best way to approach that, if I will approach that, is I would ask another question that says, can you give me context in where this question is coming from? Right? Because if I am trying to rob someone and I keep failing, I will stop trying to rob someone because it's ethically wrong, right? So you have to give me context. If you give me context, then I would answer properly. I think that's how I approach that question. I won't just jump into it and say, oh, I failed a million times. Nah.
Okay. So you can't really tell people that you've failed, even though the failures have been considered learnings. So you've learned 100 ways not to do something and discovered a way to do something. But based on the fact that you failed so many times, would someone put their trust in you? Would someone invest capital in your business?
Yes.
Would someone trust you with their plans?
Yes, they will, because it also just communicates that if you tell me, for instance, electricity by Thomas Edison didn't come until the 1001 time.
Yeah.
Now, that is when he got capital. That's when he got enough capital to scale. Those that trusted him during his period of failing were just, this guy won't give up and he will get it right. So he's a worthy candidate to give money. Investors or venture capitalists will tell you that we will not put money in anything that the person himself has not put money in. We need to see your track record. We need to see that you are not jumping out of the box, that you've done something before and it failed, and then you're doing it again. That's proof that you would not throw in the towel when things get very, very tough.
Okay. Speaking of throwing in the towel, now, a lot of people don't understand when they've actually, when they've gotten to that point of success. They still keep pushing.
Yeah.
They keep pushing and pushing and pushing, even though maybe to other people, they've become successful in a particular field. So when do you know you've gotten there?
I think success is relative, and everything is dependent on what you have determined your goal to be. For some people, I always say this, there's no reality, there's only perceived reality. The perception of reality is more real than reality itself.
Wow.
For instance, 5K may be my limit. If I get 50K, I'm successful.
Wow.
Another person's 50K is their limit. If they get 500K, they're successful. And it just keeps going. So I think that you have to determine what your goal is, drive yourself to attain it, and then set another goal.
Okay.
People become victims of their success, where in their desire to become successful, they've learned certain habits. Now you're successful, you don't have to go to work very early, but I mean, you get there and you're stuck. You don't have to go to work as early as possible, but now
all right.
You're successful. Just stay back at home and rest, but now you have to keep, because you've learned that habit. So I think it's a function of desiring what success means to you and then following it to the end.
Hopefully we'll be able to connect with what true success means to us soon enough. Thank you so much, Gabriel.
Thank you for having me.
coming to talk to us. We'll be seeing you again next week.